Hi boys, it's Miss Parlavecchio here, and I'm going to be screencasting a review lesson for all of us. If you remember back to the beginning of chapter 9, we started to factor polynomials by taking out a greatest common factor. So the four examples that I'm going to work through with all of you is factoring out either a numerical greatest common factor or a variable or both. Please write down these examples and work through them with me. I think that is the best way that you will learn. And before we start, I just want to apologize in advance on my writing with projecting onto the screen. It's a little tough to write with a trackpad, and I can't get rid of this in the bottom since we're not in our class to project onto the smartboard. But anyways, to review, whenever we take out a greatest common factor, we first want to check out the numbers and see if they have a greatest common factor in common. In this case, 4, 3, and 6 don't, so we can't take out a number. Then we look next to the variables. Each of these terms has at least one x. So since they each at least have one x, that's what we can factor out. And then we're going to divide each of these three terms by just x. So 4x to the fourth divided by x is x to the fourth divided by x is x to the third, because we're just taking out one of the x's. And notice the numbers aren't changing. Then we're going to say x squared divided by x, and we are just left with 1x minus 6, and x divided by x cancels out. So that's how you would factor this specific polynomial. In number 2, we can see that there is a number that goes into 2, 8, and 10 evenly, and that number is 2. We can't take out a variable, however, because 10 does not have an x. So that means we're just going to divide everything by 2. So negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1, and x to the fifth stays the same. And then we're going to divide 8 by 2 and have 4, and x to the third stays the same. And then we're going to divide 10 by 2, and we get 5. So notice the only difference between these two is one took out a variable, one took out a number. And then for these next few, we're going to combine a couple steps. So number 3, we see that 24, 36, and 48 are pretty big. So we want to take out the greatest common factor. If you don't, you're going to have to continue to factor until you can't go any further. We notice that they all also have at least 2 b's. So looking at the 3 numbers, I know that all of them are divisible by 12. And since they each at least have 2 b's, we're taking out a b squared. Oops. So we're going to say 24 divided by 12 is 2, and b to the 6th divided by b squared is b to the 4th. And remember, with division, you subtract the exponents. Then we have 36 divided by 12 is 3, and b to the third divided by b squared is just b. And then we have 48 divided by 12 is 4, and b squared divided by b squared cancels out. The factoring is complete. In the last one, we see that 15, 9, and 12 are all divisible by 3, and that's all we can take out because 12 doesn't have an f. So we're going to say 15 divided by 3 is 5, f to the third, negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3, f squared, and negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. So that's how we factor with just the greatest common factor. I hope that you recall how to do this, and I hope the work goes well. I plan on posting a few more videos for us to work on, so good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.